He wasn't sure what a human rubbing its manipulatory appendages together in an exaggerated manner meant, but it didn't seem to bode well for him.
Alright then, I've got a couple options for you. Our Cairo summer template will fry them with heat, our Appalachia template will wear them out with a steep climb, and our Parisian winter template will freeze them. And if you don't like any of those, don't worry, I have got more.
As she spoke, the corresponding entries appeared on her screen. Pythias stared at the human, speechless. Multiple Class A templates. At least 4 of them. So many they started giving them code names to help distinguish them. He floundered, I will have to ask my client what he prefers and get back to you.
No problem. Any others?
Amanda asked cheerfully, closing out the templates. Yes, Pythias said, reaching for his tablet yet again, then paused. No planet sculptor is this well researched and well prepared. She must be bluffing. Let's see about that. He put his tablet down and started improvising. Actually, yes I do. I have a client who wishes a very cold world. The comfortable temperature range for his species is -33 to -43 HFY. Amanda called up a unit converter on her screen.
So, mid-teens, centigrade? Easy. We've got a Northern Greenland template that will.
I apologize. Pythias interrupted. I meant to say he wished for a colder temperature range than that, as he appreciates the cold and cannot find such a region on his home planet.
Oh sure. How about Moscow winter then?
Pythias looked at the screen, concern creeping down his thorax. Colder, if you can. Amanda moved a patch of fur on her face upwards, possibly expressing either suspicion or annoyance. Pythias wasn't sure.
Okay then. What class were you thinking?
He gave her a defiant stare. Class 10. If you can. She stared back in silence for a few moments.
Alright, I don't know where exactly you're going with this, but yeah, we can do that.
She tapped a few more keys, tilted the screen toward him, and crossed her arms.
Vostok Station template. -90ish centigrade, -387 of your HFY. How do you like them apples?
Pythias glared at her, then at the screen, then back to her, and leapt to his feet, slamming his lower manipulators on the desk. I don't believe you. I want proof. Amanda jerked back in surprise, then curved her mouth parts downward in apparent anger.
Whoa. Hey. Proof of what? What the hell is your problem?
I said I want proof. Proof that you are not fabricating the existence of these templates to distort your company's capabilities.
What kind of proof? You want us to give you all of our clients' contact information so you can call them up and ask them if I'm lying? Sorry, no can do. Confidentiality agreements are a thing you know.
Then access the central registry. I wish to see your records.
I'm gonna have to talk to my... No, you know what? Fine.
She nodded sharply.
You got it. I'll bring those up, and in the meantime you can calm down and take a seat.
Pythias slowly sat as Amanda pulled up the central planet sculpting registry. Any corporate sales representative could lie about anything in person-to-person negotiations, but the permits and recordings wouldn't lie. Bureaucracy was good for something after all, it seemed. Once everything had been authenticated and downloaded, and the past 3 moon cycles worth of Terraform registry entries were on the screen, Pethius entered the identifiers into the interface on his own tablet to avoid any trickery, and began skimming through the entries one by one. Yes, it seemed that there was indeed a planet labeled as having been sculpted according to a Cairo template. No details about the template itself, of course, trade secrets and all, with valid regulatory and client information attached, and the orbital images seemed to match Amanda's earlier description. Another planet, this one a Class 9 Beta Omega Pi jungle world, sculpted from the Amazon template, with accompanying video of atmospheric humidifiers being set up around the equator. Yet another planet, a Class 9 Sigma Theta planet from the Arctic Circle template, with a fleet of solar radiation dampening satellites being deployed in orbit. A fourth, another Class 10. He wasn't even surprised anymore. And a fifth, and a sixth, and on and on and on. 8 of planets, each sculpted to different specifications, each worth 8/8 of Mermarch sun parts of work, and easily 8 of myriads of credits and research. And this human didn't find that slightest bit remarkable. She was sitting on enough intellectual property that handing in even an 8th of those designs to his superiors would make him the richest Mermarch in his hive cluster, and she just took it for granted. Pethius slumped back into his seat. "How?" he asked mournfully. Amanda continued giving him a look of silent disapproval.
"So, you going to tell me what this is all about?"
she asked flatly. He looked into her eyes, sighed in resignation, and launched into an explanation of why he was really there. "And here we are, running drastically over budget to put the finishing touches on our 6th standard template, because our first attempt at broadening the marine biodiversity collapsed after 4 moon cycles. Yet you have 8s, 2 8s, 3 8s, I don't know how many templates on file, all for planets so dangerous we've never even considered working with them. It's like you didn't even have to do the research and field work, they just appeared in your computer system by magic. How do you do it?" The human had started off with a scrunched up expression implying extreme disapproval when he'd mentioned he had come under false pretenses. But by the end she was that a look of pity on her face, or amusement, or both? Mammals were annoyingly hard to read sometimes.
"All right, Mr. Pethius, because I'm in a good mood today, I'm going to let you in on a little trade secret."
She leaned over the desk and Pethius tilted his antenna closer. At last, finding out even a hint of whatever rapid research system or advanced monitoring technology let the humans advance so quickly, and turning that information over to his superiors, would finally get him out of his sales job and into the actual design work he craved. He extended every filament on his antenna in anticipation.
"Our secret is,"
Amanda said, pausing dramatically.
"Well, you guessed it, we don't actually have to do the research."
Pethius just stared. Of all the things he had expected to hear, that certainly wasn't one of them.
"Well, not from scratch, at least,"
she continued, after taking a moment to enjoy his confusion.
"Those random code names on our templates, they are not random at all. Those are actual locations on our home world, and we basically expand local conditions there into templates that can be used over anywhere from a few square kilometers to planet-wide. No need to carefully select viable plants, breed special strains of animal populations, simulate weather cells, and all that stuff from scratch when you can just basically copy and paste what you need. Heck, it wasn't even intentional to start. Our initial colonists just brought everything they could from home and plopped it down on whatever planets they settled, hoping things would work out. Turns out, most of the time they did. And we've been working on perfecting our terraforming practices ever since.
I see. This is all from your home planet. Just one planet. That doesn't make any sense. Multiple environments, all dramatically different. Many of them above class 6. I've never heard of such a thing.
Oh, it's definitely something special. Every other planet in our own solar system is single biome too. So finding that you, guys, have less planetary diversity wasn't all that surprising when we made it out here.
Amanda entered something into her computer one last time, and a single entry popped up on the screen. Earth, human homeworld, it said at the top, and then, below it, Pethius blinked. Blinked again. A class 12 planet. And not just any class 12. He had heard there were one or two of them out there somewhere, but one with no fewer than 7 8s and 3 subclass letters after its designation, when the most he had ever seen before was a class 5 with 8 and 2 subclasses. There were enough microenvironments on Earth to kill every concordant species in 8s of different ways, with plenty to spare. If even half of those could be turned into just one standard template. And then the humans started mixing and matching. You know, he said slowly, I think Abyl Hive Cluster Planetary Engineering is about to experience a sudden drop in its customer base. I don't suppose you have any open positions for junior research or design engineers? He asked hopefully. Amanda bared her teeth again.
Maybe. You happen to have a resume on you?
She asked, breathing in and out rapidly, and what his translator said was a laugh. He reached for his tablet to transmit his credentials, then hesitated. Actually, he reconsidered, antenna drooping. With such a vast database already constructed for you, I'm sure you have no need for any more engineers in either department. So I suppose I could stay in consumer sales. What would a research engineer even do when everything you sculpt is simply mimicked from someplace on Earth? Amanda bared her teeth again, even wider than before.
Hey now, I didn't say we just copied everything from Earth environments. Can you keep another trade secret? You can, sign an NDA later. Consider it part of the job interview.
He flicked his mandibles down in eager agreement, and she leaned in again.
We've actually got 2 Class 14 projects in the works. Yes, that's right. Class 1-4, involving terraforming and helioforming. Totally new technology, like nothing anyone out here has ever seen before. Let me tell you about the Westeros and Arrakis templates.